Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Force. Thanks for joining. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And whoa! We've got lots going on here. Incredible announcements just today as we are recording this episode. We've got a lot to cover because a lot of Rebels have come out because it's not just a couple episodes because they've done back-to-back episodes.
They're already like half the season. I feel like is already gone now.
I mean, 8 episodes basically.
Man, this last season so fast.
I know, right? And then on top of all that, we are a mere 34 days away from.
That's insane.
The Last Jedi.
That's almost a month.
Just over a month,
right? So the 15th. Yeah, geez,
just over a month.
Away. Gosh. I love how fast everything's going. I hate time is moving fast. That's sad, but Star Wars time is awesome.
Star Wars time is crazy. Because I think the next line was, 100 something days from Han Solo, or from Solo, and then it said 770 days from Episode 9.
Goodness, yeah.
Which that's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, we got plenty of stuff.
196 is Solo. But anyway, thanks for joining. We have been up to also finishing out our commentaries and trailers, which I'll get into a little later, but that's still going on. But anyway, let's just dive right into some news here first with the great what do you say? The great wealth of Star Wars content.
Yes. Let's tap into the holocrons and see what we can figure out here.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Well, right now it's all the movies. I mean, it's been dead for a while. It's very much alive right now. Yes, Solo. We've already talked about that title,
right,
and all that stuff. But it's interesting because just been thinking about more how it really is Ron Howard's movie, and then I think I even saw an interview with Kathleen Kennedy. Well, she was on Star Wars Show. That's what it was, talking about the next 10 years of Star Wars, that kind of thing. And when she's referring to Solo, the film, she refers to it as Ron Howard's movie, basically.
She did.
So saying how she loves what Ron Howard's done with it, that kind of a thing. So it's. I mean, it's sad. That's very sad. I've never seen this. I mean, it's happened before, I'm sure.
But then I thought I read maybe on Twitter or something like that. But I think, was it that movie that he basically reshot almost the whole thing?
Like the rumor was almost 90%.
Yes,
movie or something like that. Yeah, which I guess so. It seems like.
I mean, it would seem like because the production lasted long.
Yeah,
when he took over,
I mean, it makes sense because
they were saying it was close to being wrapped.
Yeah, and it makes sense that he reshot a lot of it because we have discussions on the show about so what are they keeping from Phil Lord and Chris Miller? All the action stuff and they're reshooting dialogue because that would have to be what was changed the most. I would say they maybe played with some of the lines here and there and ended up changing the story entirely. Well, I don't know. I guess the bulk action stuff, dialogue, everything. Most of it was reshot. It seems like with Ron Howard, and I just don't know what's that all that footage, all that work is just being thrown away now. I mean,
there's I mean, technically they can make a phantom cut probably of
I know
of Solo.
just for the sake of
The Lord-
just
the
for the sake
Lord
of wanting
Miller.
to know. Like I just want to know more. Like what happened. Like I want to see what was shot. I want to see this other cut.
Do
Like,
you really though?
just to see like what was so bad about it. Like I want to know the full extent of how much they changed. You know,
Yeah.
it's
No one
it's
knows
interesting.
probably
Yeah.
except the ones that worked on
I
it.
know. It's a
We
crazy
should find some
controversy.
boom operator from that set.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
We gotta have a connection. I feel like with our world, we
All
had
the
to have
people,
some
yeah.
kind of connection into that crew. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, we gotta say like, what happened? What'd you hear? Come on, tell us.
yeah, you're on set.
yeah.
Was it that bad? Yeah.
But no, I'm excited that I'm still waiting to see the first images, the first piece of footage from the movie, and
Yeah.
we've had our theories about when we'll see that soon, before the year's out, definitely. We think, but I'm excited
Episode
about
8.
it. Episode 8, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But speaking of episode 8, that's kind of the big stuff right now. More trailers, more TV spots. Just saw a TV spot today. Because they're just playing on TV, kind of hard to miss it. But I, as always, I'm trying to stay away from a lot of the spots and stuff because they don't give away story really. I mean, but they give away new shots here and there, some new dialogue here and there, and it's just I just don't want my brain to work. I don't want the speculation to happen when I watch these trailers. So that's why I try to stay away from it. But it was so hard to stay away from one of the ones that came out, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But there was also, did we even talk about the most recent trailer, the full trailer that came out, the international?
Well, yeah, there's an international one.
It's hard for me to. I should have watched it before we got on the show.
Well, it
because-
wasn't too much
yeah,
different.
Nothing new, really.
No, it wasn't too much different. There was a couple of new shots, but
The World Series TV spot is the one that
yes,
that was
the
pretty,
45-second
pretty crazy. yeah.
Awake.
Awake.
They
is
call
what
it
they're calling
Awake.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
That was really cool. That was it just had a little more Luke,
Yeah,
Ray, lightsaber.
Stuff.
I mean,
some dialogue from Snoke.
Snoke.
Shot of his throne room.
Yeah.
Pretty visually insane looking, but it's
But again, there's still I still don't.
it's really
know
all the
anything.
same, all the same beats and all
Yes.
the same moments from the full trailer, but it's the way it's edited just lets you speculate so much.
Yeah.
Think
And they
like
still
they're really
had-
making you think this one thing. They're
Well,
really
and they still had the Luke line that
Yeah.
this is not going to go
Exactly.
the way you think.
Like they're
yeah.
really pushing for Rey to be making some bad choices.
Yeah.
It's of some capacity, whether or not she fights Luke or turns and goes with Kylo. I don't know, but it's just the way it's all edited. It makes me think things. I don't like it.
And then the international poster
Right.
switched out Ray and Luke. Still kind of the same
Yeah, it's
creation,
got a little
but
Photoshop there. That's one with Lucas. Looks like Luke's holding a saber.
He is
right?
holding a saber,
it's
yeah.
kinda-
but it's not his.
it's making it look like he's holding. It's a photoshopped image, obviously, but it's it's not whether or not he really does hold it in the movie. I don't know.
Well, it makes it look like because it's not his blue saber, right? Like Ray's saber.
Right.
Now, it's a different saber, but it's blue, but it's not the green one
Yeah.
that he had in Return of the Jedi. So,
I'll see.
but interesting that they switched. Yeah, they switched them out for international purposes. I never understood. I never understand why they changed things like that for that. Unless Ray is a bigger character there, I don't know.
I would think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've heard that this is Luke's movie, but they've definitely got to be making the transition for Rey to take over the franchise. They already have, but pushing it even more in this movie, learning more about her story, making her the focus of it. Also, very excited. It's just my speculation of the story has already changed since we had our big roundtable episode, but changed a little bit just in order of events. But still, like you said, still we don't know anything. Still going in with pretty fresh eyes. And just keep reading tweets from Rian Johnson about how he's just so excited about the movie, and interviews with Lucasfilm about how in love they are with the movie, how in love they are with working with Rian Johnson. Like it really has been. It seems like a perfect relationship. No drama, no controversy, nothing going wrong. It seems like, but I mean, that's
Well, and we've obviously heard today how
Yeah.
much they love him.
I know it's movie related out there. I mean, yeah, it just happened today, right before a few hours before we record this episode, where Lucasfilm has signed on Rian Johnson to create a brand new Star Wars trilogy.
Yes.
3 whole Star Wars movies that are separate from the Skywalker stories, saga. New characters, new corners of the galaxy that we've never seen before. And it's just, I mean, talking about speculation, my imagination's running rampant right now with the possibilities of what this could mean.
Right.
Just talking to some of the guys from the office, thinking like, well, what's your ideal? What's your idea of a new trilogy? And we going back and forth and everything, and it's just fun. I mean, who knows? I hope they don't keep it within still Empire versus Rebels or First Order versus Resistance. I hope they go. I hope Rian Johnson takes it with a new conflict, new bad guy, new set of circumstances. But he has the complete freedom, and he's really won over the trust to give him a new, somewhat of a franchise, or campaign within this franchise of like, you create your own thing. So it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Well, we think that's what it is. I mean, we don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we think that he's able to kind of create what he wants, but
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I think that the story group has accepted kind of, there's probably laid out some parameters
Yeah.
at least,
Well, we thought, 100 years from this story, like, this is where the direction it's going.
Right.
This is where it came from. So maybe you can play around with these little eras. But who knows if he goes Old Republic or maybe this is basically what will 10, 11, 12 will become, but he's just calling it something else, and it's just new characters. Maybe. But from that interview with Kathleen Kennedy on Star Wars show about the next 10 years of Star Wars, it sounds like they're going to continue possibly with Finn, Rey, and Poe past 9.
Right.
So, this is probably just going to be what Johnson's doing, is a complete tangent side, offshoot of these characters in these stories. So I'm very excited. I think I'm excited. It's the possibility, the potential of new, fresh stories that have nothing to do with what's going on right now. As much as I love it, I just want as much expansion as possible.
Right.
I want to see new things. I'm thinking about though. I mean, not much with 9. Nothing really going on right now with 9.
No, not yet.
Nothing really on the movie side. That's pretty much it.
Yep. Rebels, of course, like we mentioned, they're just pumping out a lot of Rebels.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping up with that, it's on Mondays at 9. They've been releasing 2 episodes. I think this coming week is the first time they're only doing 1. I think Monday is very Hera centric because she's on her way to Lothal with X-wings.
Yes.
Which is incredible. But we haven't been able to follow up too many, so we won't go through one at a time here. But we'll just kind of talk briefly about where we're at with Rebels right now. So basically, after the premiere, which was the Heroes of Mandalore parts 1 and 2, they had In the Name of the Rebellion parts 1 and 2. Now these episodes were centered around Saul Guerrero coming back in, and kind of conning Ezra and Sabine into helping him. They get separated on a mission. They go and help because Saul is still, he's still trying to figure out what's going on, what the Empire is building. I mean, he's on the cusp of figuring out the Death Star, basically. Mm-hmm. And really interesting to see this massive kyber crystal.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I thought it was pretty awesome. I thought one of the strongest scenes in that whole those episodes was actually one of the first scenes in that first episode where Saul and Mon Mothma
Oh, yeah.
getting into it. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was very, descriptive of what the situation is with the difference between the rebellion and his
Partisans. And,
his partisans and his viewpoint of fighting the Empire. You know, so I don't know. I thought they were very good
Oh,
episodes.
incredible. I love, just from an animation standpoint, how different Saul looks in this episode from the previous time we saw it. He's much
Right.
closer to Rogue One. Like they even, I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure they didn't animate this. But even his eye, like Forrest Whitaker has that kind of like lazy eye in a way, or
Yes, he does.
damaged eyelid. And they put that in to Saul.
I don't know
in
if I
there.
noticed that.
I don't think that happened. That was that. He was designed that way in the previous time we saw him in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might have like tried to explain that as like it's this battle.
He still has his feet though.
Yeah, so he hasn't lost his feet yet.
Yeah.
Thought that might happen. I was like, gosh, that's gonna be pretty dark if that happens
I
in
know.
the show.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll see him again. That'd be pretty cool if we saw
Mm-hmm.
Saul again. But yeah, I mean, he won't find out about the Death Star. He never does.
He can't.
Yeah, so he gets really close, but
Can't.
from Rogue One, obviously, he doesn't learn about it until he hears it from Galen in Rogue One. But
So
Very
then,
cool.
then last week they came out with 2 episodes back to back called "The Occupation" and "Flight of the Defender." Now this is the Ghost crew basically going back to Lothal, and I feel like what it sounds like watching Rebels Recon a little bit too in interviews. I feel like we might be at Lothal the rest of the
that's what it seems
The
like,
season.
even from this week. Like,
yeah.
they're really tying it back to Lothal, and they even make the point to say that in this week's episodes where all paths are leading back here, and it's almost like it was planned from the very beginning, which it probably was, but
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you're coming back to where you started because this is technically, in the whole scheme of things, this really is Ezra's story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's the boy from the first episode that gets caught up in all this, and he's force sensitive. And of course, you have your other characters, but he's kind of the central aspect of this whole series, and he's similar to what Ahsoka was, you know, in the Clone Wars.
right.
Ezra is on Rebels, and he's going back trying to save his planet. You know, I mean, and it's a little strange just because, you know, there's the only thing really there is they're now building. You know, the Empire's building.
Yeah, they're just farming
They're
whatever,
turning into a manufacturing
Exactly.
post, really. You know, like they do on all these other planets. But this is the one where I think, these episodes we were introduced to finally to the Lothwolf,
Yeah,
which is
pretty cool. I did not expect that at
did
all.
not.
How that turned out.
Because at first it was strange because Ezra's the only one seeing them, and even like Sabine gets passes out,
Yeah,
right,
and then wipes her memory of even seeing him in the first place or something. It's-
rides her. I mean, but they ride the back of
Yeah.
the, and she has no idea.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, didn't they? And then they was it this episode? These episodes they like basically. No, I think it was this week.
This
so
week,
they
transported
traveled
him.
like, how they transported
like a
half-
light speed tunnel almost. It was just like
Yeah, I
go
was
through this
really
little
weirded by
tunnel
that.
and fade out, and then he has a weird vision, and then I'll wake up on the opposite side of the planet.
Yeah,
They're powerful creatures. I love it. I love how this show has introduced kind of the animals, some animals having that force ability, or that other, a couple seasons ago it was those space whales or whatever that was that could travel through hyperspace.
yes,
That was cool, and they kind of
Yeah.
had a connection with Ezra in that, and there was a similar like a flying manatee type of thing, and I think last season it might have been with that gas mining Imperial facility or something like that. But it was, and this one with these Lothwolves, man, that's cool. I would like to know more about it, and it tied back more into the whole how the Force is really been guiding all of these characters' paths, and And you say, yeah, Ezra was wrapped up into this in the first episode, but this week's episodes made it kind of point out where he didn't just fall into it. It seems like the Force is what guided the Ghost Crew to Lothal in the first place, and guided Ezra to the Ghost Crew on Lothal, and why they keep coming back to Lothal, because it's just something keeps, the Force keeps pulling them back there, and obviously there's a point because something big has happened. We don't know what yet, but Kanan made that point when he was in that cave with the Lothwolves, and Ezra saying how something bigger might be happening,
right?
Bigger than the Defenders. There's maybe something else happening on Lothal. So excited to see what that could be.
Yeah. And then this week, this just past Monday here, we've got 2 more, which was Kindred and Crawler Commandeers. Yep. This is where we're introduced to Thrawn's new bounty. Or
I think it's assassin,
yeah.
Rook.
Yeah, who is a EU character. Correct?
Yes, he was just
from Thrawn's
Nogri bodyguard. He was just the Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
He was just a bodyguard in the Nogri.
Yes,
species,
voiced by Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
So he, good character. Actually, I didn't even feel like it sounded like him at all.
It didn't. No, I was trying to listen to. He was like, that doesn't sound like him. But
yeah,
and his first appearance was pretty small. He didn't do very much.
He didn't.
Just smelling a lot and saying like, I can track him. I can do it.
Yeah, he got defeated a couple times.
Yeah.
But then the crawler commandeers, they take over whatever machine is kind of not mining, but like sucking in the resources of Lothal,
burning it and farming whatever the heck that is for the infantry, for the Imperial infantry. But that was also kind of a weird episode. That little captain, that snake-like captain was interesting. It was kind of amusing, but and there was that. I don't know. I was thought it was somewhat silly but funny, that fight between Zeb and that foreman, that Trandoshan. I think that was a
Trandoshan. Yeah.
Like there was just kind of. I think it was kind of goofy at parts, but it was amusing. It was a good little episode. And Vizago, who is more like Hondo than I remembered. He's kind of goofy, like Hondo is. But no, it was a good episode. Yeah,
it's setting up. They're kind of showing how bad Lothal is now and how much needed the rebellion is to help them.
I know it sets up now for the
right.
Because they had some good scenes with Hera talking to Bail and Mon Mothma and Dundana. And who's the other guy that ran to him? That might have been Antilles. I don't know. There was like another guy in that council on Yavin 4.
I didn't know. Yeah,
that might have been Antilles. But no, it's very exciting. And I keep thinking too, like, man, Hera is really. It seems like she's just a very important part of the rebellion. It seems like she is. Like she's like the only one there at the base with these rebel commands, and then we got Forces of Destiny. It's like she's a part of it. She's a huge part of everything. But it's just obviously she's on the original movies, but she's there somewhere.
Yes,
it's just hard to now explain her absence from the movies because of how important she is.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do that. Speaking of, like the next episode, it's this thing too, is that I don't know if they're going to skip over it or not, but this next episode called Rebel Assault on Monday, I think it's our introduction to X-Wings finally.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a fall finale, mid-season finale, I think.
It might be. But it's like, I hope we get like where they found these X-Wings or where they got these X-Wings. So I thought they were going to do the same thing as they did with maybe the Y-Wings or something like that. Mm-hmm. But no, they have X-Wings now. And because when they, what I think it was one of the first, I think it was it in the name of the rebellion? But when they came crashing on the Y-Wings, so that might be why they needed X-Wings, because they crashed in some
These
Y-Wings.
are just bombers. We need something more agile.
Yeah. But that's a good point, because as we, might as well just transition into Force of Destiny. Force of Destiny aired at the last Sunday of October. Most were repeated episodes from Disney's YouTube channel, but there were, I think, 3 new ones, and one being a Jin Sabine
That's cool. I
connection,
like that one.
which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know really when it would take place.
I'm thinking it's either sometime after season 3 of Rebels to like episode 2 or 3 of season 4, because we know Sabine changed her hair. It started off blue, like it was in Force of Destiny, but now it's that black, dark purple kind of black look. So it had to happen somewhere after season 3, before the 2 or 3 episodes into season 4.
Yeah, and Jin doesn't get. I'd have to check the book again, but she's in prison before she gets freed on Rogue One. I think she's in prison for a good 6 months or so, or maybe even a year.
I think that still works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So it's before that, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's around that time period of season 4, like you said. So I think it's. So that is, and then I think the other one was Sabine's bounty hunter friend. I can't remember her name.
I always figured her name. I don't even want to try. I don't know. I can't remember.
Anyway, she has a mission, and gets some help from Hera, and Sabine. That was a really kind of short, weird episode.
Yeah.
But the big one was the episode with Hera.
Yes.
That takes place right after the end of Return of the Jedi.
Literally right after.
Yes.
Like they even go as far as to recreate sort of that shot of the X-Wings going across the sky and the fireworks in the sky. And, in the Return of the Jedi movie, it goes from that shot and transitions to night, to the party.
Correct.
Whereas this
takes place during the day.
During the day. So right after that shot, before it transitions, it just pans down to what's happening immediately afterwards. That was very clever.
And what's funny is that it centers around. So spoilers, don't if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. But it centers around the discussion of what to do with the stormtroopers, because as you realize, and I don't know if I even see this. It's funny because I don't know if I realized this that much as a kid,
right?
But the Ewoks were gonna cook.
They're
Han Solo, Chewbacca, and
they're about to eat them,
and Luke during that scene, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were. That's because when you hear Chewie say or 3PO say, "Oh, I'm embarrassed," you're at you're. I think he says main course in the dinner, and but I never registered as a kid. Like
neither did I.
Main course,
yeah.
Oh, they're the main course, not that there's a main course.
Yeah, they're going to eat them.
Yeah, so I'm like, but as I get older, you're like, wait a minute, do they? I guess they eat people.
But they they just see it as
food, meat,
it's food,
whatever. I mean, and so, there's always talks about at the end of Return of the Jedi when, all you see is them playing
just the helmets,
drums on the helmets. Like, okay, where are the bodies?
Yeah. Oh, no.
And I think, if I remember correctly, in Shattered Empire.
Oh, yes.
They mentioned it, right?
Oh, it was so
it's
awful.
It's canon that they're actually they actually do it.
Well, Shattered Empire doesn't blatantly say it, but there's like a big double spread panel, I think is what it was on the comic, and it's like you see little dialogue. You're going to little dialogue bubbles of the different rebel soldiers talking and mingling and all that kind of stuff, and one guy is eating something, whatever food is prepared, and you're about to pull it out here, and like he makes a comment about how weird it tastes.
Yes,
and which basically makes it sound like they're eating people. They're eating the stormtroopers. So the Ewoks seem like they cooked. I think it's on this side somewhere.
It's right here. It says so. There's a little panel here at the bottom left of this page, and it says it's got a couple guys talking, and one guy says, "Hey, Lieutenant. All right, hey, Lieutenant Bay. Nice flying. Yeah, thanks." And then someone else says, "Gonna ask him to dance." And then another one. So this is like just voices from the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Another one says, "Look, sweet, but you should have seen them." And another one says, "Is this? I don't even know what I'm eating. I'll have another." Did what to my shit? So that's right. That's the only thing right there. And then it's and then there's the helmets there with stormtroopers.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much saying without saying that they're eating stormtroopers.
I don't even know what I'm eating. I'll have another.
Oh my gosh! So the Ewoks cooked stormtroopers and fed it to the crowd.
Basically, that's what happened. Yes, that's what it sounds like happened.
Holy cow!
But anyway, so this Forces of Destiny episode centers around that conversation, really. Mm-hmm. So Leia is, I mean, they're literally, the Ewoks have tied up the stormtroopers.
Put them back on that stick, about to cook them.
Without removing their armor, which is funny, obviously. Yeah. And then Leia's like, no, you can't do that, and so she says, Han, we need to feed these Ewoks now so they don't have that hunger.
Yeah.
And she instructs him to go find Hera and get her ration cubes, a shipment of ration cubes, to satisfy them. So he goes over, and there's Hera, full blown Hera and Chopper.
Yeah,
and the Ghost is sitting right next to the Falcon.
It's bigger than the Falcon.
It is. It's huge.
Awesome.
I mean, the Ghost is a really big ship. Yeah, but they have this great conversation about. And she only gives it to him because he says the statement about the Ghost, and
that's so funny.
I mean, Hera. So Hera is obviously alive, through Return of the Jedi, but we know where she is in Rebels right now. But it's like, okay, where is she?
Yeah.
During Episode 4, where is she? When they're at Hoth,
she must be just off doing missions, just off doing little things here and there, and she's never in one place long enough. Like, she's not at Echo Base
because by the time by the time you hear, or by the time we get to Rogue One, she's a general. I mean, you hear the intercom, General Syndulla. Right now, she's a captain.
Yeah,
but she's a general. So it's very strange. Like, okay, so if she's a general and this great pilot, it's like, but you're gonna give the commanding of the fleet to Lando Calrissian during the Battle of Endor, right? So obviously the Ghost is not there. I mean, it can't be there. It's not there. I mean, unless they want to special edition it and put it in later.
I'd be fine with that. Honestly.
But is she sitting in the hall somewhere? When Akbar's talking about the attacking. I don't. Yeah,
I figure I just try to reason it like she's doing something else, and then she comes to Endor after the battle's said and done to help with supplies and whatever, collecting them, helping them recoup, but.
Oh, so you don't think she's part of the battle?
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, I don't know. I would to make it definitive. I would think someone needs to say it, or just put her in the Battle of Endor. Put the Ghost in there somehow, which it'd be easy to do. You just got to re-release the movies again.
Yeah,
but it's
because if I recall, the Return of the Jedi, they mentioned that. I want to say they mentioned. I mean, this is their last stand, so it's like that's
everybody's
the entire
there.
Fleet. Mm-hmm. That's the entire fleet.
So Ghost should be there.
Ghost should be there. Yeah. And if she's truly who she's being portrayed as in Rebels, there's no way she wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that could keep her away. But that's the one character that's kind of seeming to be the most important outside of the films that is accounted for throughout the original trilogy. Like Kanan's not necessarily yet. Yeah. Ezra, Zeb, Sabine, we don't know. We haven't heard of these characters beyond or during the original trilogy, but we do know Hera is now. So it's like, it would be interesting to get more accurate stories of where she was throughout that time. So anyway, good episode. Go check that out. I guess real quick news on the other mediums. In comic news, I think starting in January, we're getting a comic of Benicio del Toro's character, DJ. And the comic's called DJ. DJ number 1 coming out then, which is pretty interesting. That's another one character that's kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah.
Because there's no promotional material of him.
All right.
Or Laura Dern. Now, Laura Dern, I think I failed to mention on here, is that her character is actually in the Leia book.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know
So, yeah. So you.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Sure.
But she's in that book. But yeah, her character, Rose, obviously we know a little bit about.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to have a bigger role than Laura Dern and I guess and Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro, I have no idea. I mean, we have one picture of him, right?
Yeah,
I think, and
pretty
that's
much.
it. So that's, and of course, you can get to our website to read Russell's reviews of comics as they're coming out. I'm a little behind on. I think I'm caught up most of them. I just got to catch up on Poe and Afra. Okay, so then the next medium. Well, book wise, are you're still reading?
I'm still
certain
going.
point of view.
Still getting through that. I just finished Eclipse.
Oh, right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. So when Casey gets through that, we'll do a full review on that book. I actually started after I got through with Leia. I just started. It's really short, but the Legends of Luke Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to read that too.
So it's a really short book. It's a junior novel or something like that, I guess, or junior.
It's not short stories, is it? I thought it might have been, but
No, it's
like tales. They're like
yeah,
different
they're
little
tales.
Yeah, okay.
There's like 5 tales.
Yeah.
I'm nearly done. I literally only got about 20, 30 minutes left of it. I'll be done with it tomorrow. I gotta say that it's just my initial reaction to it. That is that it's hard because these are, like you said, tales, and people are retelling them. So I'm not even sure if they're real.
And
they even mention
that's
in
the
there.
whole thing. It's just
Yeah.
versions of it happened maybe,
Yes.
if it happened at all. So
Well, because I'll say one that was really weird. I'll say this. So, spoiler alert.
yeah,
But there's one story in there, literally from the first person point of view of a flea. Like, literally a flea that is on. So, this is funny because we just mentioned the certain point of view. It's that. It's from a certain point of view of a sentient flea, though.
right.
That one that can talk. I can't remember the exact term. It's like some kind of flea. I can't remember it, but I'll find out and mention it. But it's this flea lives on Salacious Crumb.
Oh,
And then starts jumping around when this whole thing happens during Return of the Jedi. Again, whether or not it happened or not, but it literally talks to Princess Leia while she's a slave. Like, has a full on conversation. I mean, and then, and then when Luke shows up, it jumps on Luke. The whole time he's down, like, fighting the Rancor, this thing is apparently, like, talking in his ear, and he thinks it's the Force kind of talking to him. Yeah, so I'm like, it's so weird. It's really strange.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, it's not buying it.
Like, there's a flea on him the whole time. Like all the movies, there's always been a flea on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Telling him about.
And he's having and he's talking to it. Like, I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, there's stories of Luke Skywalker. A couple of them are pretty good. You do find out. I won't give it away, but you do find out if this is true. And I kind of believe this one might be, but because the book is like the journey of the Last Jedi, right? It's supposed to give clues in there. According to one of the stories, you do find out how he loses the skin off his hand.
Oh, wow.
In this book. Yeah.
Cool.
So that seems pretty real.
Yeah. So it's not in the fire of...
It's not.
The Jedi Temple.
No, it's not. Right. So I'm assuming this time would take place before that, which seems like most of these stories take place shortly after Return of the Jedi, like within 5 or 6 years of Return of the Jedi, because even though it does say he has a beard by most of these times, he's still like he's still kind of wandering, like. I'll get more reviews. I just don't want to spoil too much, but it's like he's wandering the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to find more information about the Force and all that stuff. So it's kind of strange because, again, I hope we get it sometime, but I just don't know when he establishes that new Jedi.
Right.
Or is it? I mean, you hear Han. It's funny. I was watching Force Awakens just tonight. That's Eliza was all over Force Awakens. She also watch it all the time. So, I'm watching that again, and Han mentions to Rey and Finn that, Luke began training a new generation of Jedi. Mm-hmm. But really, or was he really just training Ben? Mm-hmm. Like, was there actually a academy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because what I'm picking up, like, from this book, and I mean, I just don't feel like he did what he did in the EU, which is establish a temple.
Oh yeah.
Recruit and train hundreds of Jedis again, right?
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that happened. I almost feel like Ben might have been the first one he started training. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he does say he betrayed him. His apprentice betrayed him and destroyed it, but he didn't say anything about killing everybody, right? So
we just got to think about that force back and like how many bodies were actually around that field. I don't know,
but I could be also just representative of what the Knights of Ren did in the galaxy, just going around killing people.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
We will. I think we will, but I just don't know what point, because Ben Solo obviously is born. He's born a year after
Jedi
Endor.
Endor, yeah.
And I'm sure Luke starts training him within the first couple of years of his birth.
Yeah, probably.
So during this might be just 2 or 3 years. This book, anyway. So I'll talk more about it when I finish it. I'm almost finished with it, but it's okay. It's okay. Battlefront II.
So close. 8 days.
Well, the pre-release is Tuesday.
Right. If you get the deluxe edition, you can play early.
But is it Thursday? It's Thursday?
Friday.
It's Friday of next week. So, yeah. So a week.
17th.
Yeah. You got pre-release, didn't you?
Well, I did the pre-order for Xbox, and then I sold it to switch to PS4. So I'm going to pre-order it on PS4.
You didn't, or you want to?
Haven't yet. Going to, yeah.
So yeah, I stuck with Xbox.
Yeah,
I'm a loyalist. And I'm going to get it Tuesday. I guess I'll do what I did the first Battlefront, just download it to my Xbox. But the new trailer came out, I think last week or something like that, and it basically is a trailer on the campaign. I mean, that's what I'm going to first. I'm going straight to the campaign.
I hear it's about 7-8 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty short.
But also, short?
That's short. That is.
Well, that's going to take me. I mean, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a few days.
Yeah. But but here it's amazing. Like, it's every bit as good as the multiplayer.
Yeah, and don't get spoiled out there because I have seen videos
Yeah, there's a lot of clips out there of the campaign.
of the campaign.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like 15 minutes worth of stuff out there I've seen.
I saw one that had said the full campaign.
Oh gosh, that's awful. I can't.
Yes.
Don't watch it.
Well, it's all the cuts. It's all the cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like the
maybe that's what it is. Like it's 15 minutes worth of cutscenes or something.
yes,
maybe, but
basically 15, 20 minutes. Probably.
no, don't do it.
Yeah, so I'm not. I'm gonna experience that myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the trailer, I mean, again, I think we've mentioned it so many times on this show that I would watch a movie
Absolutely
made like those trailers.
Yes.
Like I remember Force Unleashed trailers.
Force Unleashed trailers were great. The Old Republic trailers were great.
Old Republic, yes.
Yeah, incredible. Just do it.
Just do it that way.
Just do it, man.
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, it's probably more expensive. I
You're
guess
getting this new Disney streaming service where
Yeah.
they're going to be doing these original films on there. So do a Star Wars original animation
series
film.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. I still know. I guess we just don't know how fast you turn that stuff around like
Yeah.
to do Rebels, but. Okay. Well, speaking of TV series, that's another part of the news that got announced today too. Was
Yeah.
streaming service, right?
Yeah, there was some interview with Bob Iger. I this more or earlier today when I read the Rian Johnson news, I also read that some interview with Bob Iger, he had let slip that they're working on a live action Star Wars TV show. But I read it off Reddit, and there was no source cited, so I was like, "Oh, that might not be true." But I read it from Variety, and they were pretty much definitive. Besides it coming from Star Wars themselves. But Variety reports, Bob Iger said that they, talking about the Disney streaming service, they'll do like 4 original movies a year or this kind of stuff, and they're going to do all these original series based off their brands, their franchises, and one of it will be a Star Wars live action TV series. But that's all he said about it, and it's probably will come out in 2019 when the streaming service is also unveiled. I mean, I'm excited about this Disney streaming service anyways, just because I'm a Disney fan, but knowing now that all the Star Wars stuff is going to be there and they're going to do original Star Wars shows, new things, putting on that streaming service, I'm very excited. I'm going to definitely, no question about it whatsoever, I'm definitely going to get this streaming service. And
Yeah.
I might cut loose something else, who knows, but I'll probably still keep Netflix. But it's such a brilliant and perfect idea.
What makes you wonder how separate is that going to be from like the Disney app or Watch Disney, because
Disney
Disney XD, because if you have Hulu or YouTube TV, which is getting more and more is bigger and spreading, like you have Disney channels on there, so it's like, is this going to be like exclusive content where or is it they're going to let you access it through like Hulu or another service? Because if it's completely separate like a Netflix, then you have to pay that extra money. Because because it could be. What it seems like it actually. I'm probably answering my own question, but it seems like you can't really do much more than what Netflix is doing, which is maybe like a $10 a month thing.
That's kind of what that article Variety,
but it's a little
like.
Yeah, but it's you're basically getting 4 studios, right? You're getting Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Pixar, and Walt Disney. So you're getting 4 studios. So everything, all the content that those studios make
all the movies,
as well as probably all the, I'm assuming all the TV stuff that's going to land.
I think
there
except
too.
for different things. I think except for like the Marvel Netflix shows, the more adult ones, maybe.
Oh, probably
that might not be put over to the Disney.
Well, that's
streaming
true.
service. But I think most Disney is still
Netflix,
family friendly, so they'll probably keep all that stuff over there, but and separate it a little bit. But it's everything's going to be over there. It's exciting. That's a great idea, and I think I read it's going to start off a little cheaper than Netflix because there's less content
Yeah.
They're trying to get as many subscribers as possible starting off. And I mean, I don't care. I don't know. Honestly, if it was like $15, I'd probably still get it.
Yeah. So that's streaming service, TV series coming. Yeah, that's all the big news. So I want to wrap up a little bit more further on this Rian Johnson thing. Because leading up to this today, I was really wanting to focus on talking about Kennedy's interview about the future of Star Wars. And it's a really good, I suggest you go on the YouTube channel because there's actually an extended version of the interview that they released. So it's a full thing of Kathleen Kennedy, how she talks about, several things like Solo, and then she talks about how much Rian Johnson put into the film and how much it was such a great time working with him. They're so proud of the movie, blah, blah, blah. And then you got, of course, then she hinted at. Now, a lot of people, got on social media and she talked about how she talked about the next trilogy. And she actually doesn't mention anything about a trilogy. She just says that stories of Rey and Finn and Poe and these guys, they're working on maybe more stories of them,
Right.
But it's not technically in a new trilogy,
Right.
No 10, 11, 12, but also the big tidbit was that the story group and her are mapping out the next 10 years,
Right.
so basically from 2020, right? I think 2020 to 2030, basically. What is the next 10 years looks like, right? 2030. Oh my God.
13 years from now.
Is that 13 years? Yeah.
I'll be almost 40.
I'll be 53. So, it's like that of course, stemmed social media going crazy. Like, oh, they're planning on a new, 10, 11, 12 with Rey and Finn. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think they're going to do more stories with them for sure, but I don't know if it's another trilogy. But of course, that's what we wanted to sit here and speculate about. But now the news is that 10 years basically is at least half of it in a way, or 6 years of it is spoken for because Rian Johnson is doing a trilogy of films. So the question, though, it comes up is, for one, things change. Obviously, we've seen it. Han Solo, even Episode 9. Things change. So, but a lot of people are on Twitter right now, though, speculating that, what the trilogy could be about, but also, is it feasible to say, I mean, there's some people I read that said they don't want Rian Johnson to necessarily direct all three of them. Maybe he has the story,
Right.
similar to like be the Lucas of the storytelling, but get other directors. I mean, what do you, because think about it, if he's doing them, if he's writing, directing every one of them, then there's no overlap of production. I mean, it's going to be every 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Because he's got to be dedicated to one movie at a time, basically.
Yeah.
So
you can't necessarily be writing or prepping for the next one, the second one, while he's finishing shooting the first one. He has to wait.
I would think so.
Wrapped. Yeah. So because Rian Johnson was working on it while they were wrapping up Force Awakens. He was working on Last Jedi while Abrams was.
And that's why I think you're able to have a 2-year release. But if you're having to finish out the film before you start the next one, then it might be 2.5 years, 3 years between movies. So that's the thing, are you good with, I mean, literally giving him writing and directing duties for 3 movies straight.
That would be fine. You would almost have to do it like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like do all the prep work up front, and then just
Shoot 'em all?
just shoot them all, and then release it every year or every 2 years. Just spread it out. But that would be more time up front, so we might not get it like in 2021, which would be after the 3rd spinoff movie. Like might be longer than that. So that would be cool. I mean, we still haven't seen Last Jedi yet, and we're already talking about, let's give Rian Johnson 3 more movies and let him direct them all. Like, well, we haven't seen any. We've seen the trailers that are amazing.
Yeah, I would guess Lucasfilm has.
Yeah, so Lucasfilm has just got so much faith in him, so I trust Lucasfilm. I trust Kathleen Kennedy, so if they say he's awesome, then I believe him. But no, I would love to see other directors tackle, the 2nd and 3rd movie of that trilogy. Rian Johnson's directing and writing the first one, so yeah, if he has this, he'll have the story, I would imagine, for 2 and 3. But someone else would actually write the script and direct it, and I think that ultimately is probably what they should do. Just keep it fresh.
Yeah, I definitely agree with. I think they should. I think he should think about, if he knows what the stories are, to go ahead and try to shoot it. Mm-hmm. Because wasn't Lord of the Rings? I mean, if you do it like that, you're basically talking 2 years of production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, you're just constantly shooting.
Yeah,
with little breaks in between. So if you did that and then you post it, I mean, it's probably to get all 3 of them done in order to release year after year like they did with Lord of the Rings. I want to say they probably spent 4 or 5 years before they even got the first one done.
Probably.
Then they just had to kind of finish out the second one and finish out the third one.
He could be working on it right now with the stories.
Absolutely. I would think, see, that's the thing too, is I would think that the only way he got this deal is, for one, they saw episode 8, were thrilled, but also I feel like he came up with something.
Oh, he's living everybody's dream right now.
Yeah,
the chance actually, we all have our own little fan stories that we've kind of created growing up a little bit, but he's actually making it.
That's right.
He's creating his own Star Wars story, legit, and it's canon.
And I definitely think that's had to have happened, where he sat down with Kathleen and said, "You know what? Well," or it could have been even,
I have these characters.
Yeah, well, it could even been Kathleen saying, "Would you want to stay involved?" Well, funny you say so, because what about this?
Yeah,
and then I bet you I would say he got in front of the story group and said, "Here's what I'd like to do," and they signed off on it. And I'll just go ahead and speculate that, part of me wants to say it's an Obi-Wan trilogy.
Yeah, I know.
But it's hard for me to say that, just because in the article it says exploring a corner of the universe that we have never, a corner of the galaxy, I think, that we have never seen before,
right,
or been before. Actually, I'll quote it here. It says, Rian Johnson announces he is beginning his journey to the Carso. So it says, Johnson will introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never been before. Has never before explored. So we've explored Tatooine and Obi-Wan. So to me, that's out. He's not doing Obi-Wan.
This is brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new. So in my, but in my, a lot of people are speculating that they want this to be him to fill in the gap between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible, because you ain't going to recast Luke Skywalker. Right? But then again, it's like, well, I guess you could do that if it's not about Skywalkers, right?
Yeah.
It can't be about, it's not about Skywalker.
Yeah.
So here's what it came down to, is that basically, for those of you who have read the Aftermath trilogy, that's what we're looking at. I think that's the kind of story we're looking at, is a whole new group of ragtag, or a whole new group of characters that get together. Now, I have a hard time. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to let him go beyond the timeline of the films, either forward or behind. I have a hard time grasping that they're going to let him do that yet, because I still feel like Star Wars right now, at least what Disney has been banking on, I feel like they're still trying to stay around the films.
Right.
They're not trying to go Old Republic. They're not trying to go, beyond Episode 9. I think they're trying to sprinkle in still between 1 and now 8. So again, I don't know what the story's about, or speculate what the story could be about. But I feel like this trilogy takes place either between 3 and 4 in that 19-year gap, or the 30-year gap between 6 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be an underworld type of story, and probably not on Coruscant though. My ideal trilogy would be like something about the origin of the Jedi. Super old.
Wow, yeah.
But I agree with you, and like, unfortunately, I feel like odds are it will, might stay within this. I just don't want the Empire to be the same bad guys, or the First Order to be the bad guys again. I want the new villain, new conflict, new characters, new journey. I don't know how closely it would tie into the original films, or heck, maybe it's a prequel era. Maybe it's between 1 and 2. You have a 10-year gap there, so maybe it's somewhere there. But no, Rian Johnson is such a fan of the originals, so he might have something within that era. But I kind of hope that was part of the discussions of the next 10 years. Like, next 10 years, we start to explore the new eras and, start to create new audiences that way, and new fan base that way, but still keep it Star Wars centric. So I want to know so much right now. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess other possibilities if you did go beyond the movies. I mean, if you think about it, what's probably the biggest talked about story from the EU besides Thrawn?
The U.S. involved.
Yes.
But I don't know how well versed Rian Johnson is of that stuff. But
he's a fanboy. I'm sure he knows about it.
Of the EU. So, gosh, that would be nuts. That's
definitely a
trilogy,
because you can't. Yeah, because you don't necessarily have to put it in the time frame from the EU. Obviously, I mean, you could jump 50 years from Episode 9, and then it's whatever state of the galaxy is then. New characters. This invading army comes from the
and you can already have the Jedi built up again.
Absolutely.
So you have an army of Jedi.
Because I feel like it's that. It's those guys, or it's like you said, or it's back when the Sith and the Jedi were at their peaks fighting each other, and you had Moraband. It was Moraband.
Moraband, but from the Clone Wars. But
you have that was the Sith world where there were Sith from it. Bane.
Sure.
Just. You just have. To me, though, that would be the most recognizable things to at least center it around new characters, of course, but center around those eras and those stories.
He could have his own passion story that he maybe had been working on for just, again, as a fanboy, having his own, like, Mom, this is my Star Wars story that I've always wanted to tell. But he could have his own intimate, it's more small scale. Some of it could be taking place within like the original trilogy timeline, but it's such a
totally
different part of the galaxy. It's such a different scale where it really wouldn't have any effect at all on the grand scheme of things of the Empire and the Rebellion. But maybe we hear about it, but there's no stormtroopers. Maybe it's in wild space, maybe it's in the unknown regions. Maybe it's all about the Chiss ascendancy. I don't know. That would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be on any of these Outer Rim worlds that really have no connection to the Empire and all that stuff. And it's that's why I feel like that would be the safest thing to do, and something the story group would be into as long as the story was there. But if I'm a fanboy, like Rian Johnson is, I'm thinking of, okay, what from the EU do people love that I could bring into the,
right.
Yusang Vong is kind of the
besides
because they
Order.
did, Filoni did it with Thrawn. He brought him into canon. People are responding well to that, and I feel like I remember. People may not know, but we saw that Clone Wars was supposed to introduce the Vong.
Gosh,
it was supposed to be an abandoned kind of ship.
Yeah,
but it was there. I mean, he was going to bring that world in there. So it's like, oh man. And then that's a whole nother topic, which we won't get into yet. But I mean, Filoni's got to be doing something next too.
I know. That's
maybe it's just live action.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe he's doing that.
That's true.
That'd be pretty cool.
So it was interesting that, I don't know if you saw Rian Johnson's tweet 5 hours ago. He says, he said, obviously I hope you like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But man, now I really hope you like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, he's just such a good sport. He's such a so passionate.
Well, yeah, and
passion.
you were there for Celebration when he came out in the middle of the night and just hung out with the fans. I mean, again, we haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm on board with it right now.
Yeah,
sure. But I think about it too. It's weird because I love JJ still. I'm looking forward to 9 with him. So it's like. JJ.
Maybe he'll do one of the trilogy of Rian Johnson.
He'll probably do 10, 11, 12.
Oh, yeah. All right, fine. I'll do it.
I'll do 10, 11, 12. Fine. So obviously more to come on that as we. I guess it's actually it is kind of strange that this announcement came before the movie came out. Yeah, because
they're not worried about
they're not worried
what you're
about
gonna think about it. We know you're gonna love it.
Yeah. So it's definitely a complete darkness about when we're going to hear anything about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When you got Han coming. Keep on Han. You got Solo coming out. You got Episode 9 coming out.
Yeah.
You got the brief announcement that Kenobi's coming out, right? So it's like, you got 3 movies right there. We got 4 movies still to come release before you even get into when his are coming out. So, and is Kenobi the last? Or here's the thing: is Rian Johnson's? Are they going to be Star Wars stories?
I don't know.
Are they just not going to go down that road and just call them
whatever it is?
This
Star Wars something 1, Star Wars something 2.
I don't know.
I don't think there'll be episodes.
You won't be episodes.
Yeah, you won't have another episode.
But will they be Star Wars stories?
Yeah,
doesn't seem like they are.
Probably not.
It will.
That seems to be reserved for the one-offs.
Yeah. So anyway, obviously, like you said in the front, I mean, there's just so much Star Wars. It's kind of making the time fly so fast because you're constantly reading about it, talking about it. And I do Star Wars every day. I mean, because I do an audiobook, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in it. And, of course, right now I'm deep in it because we'll finish by talking about, of course, we're still continuing our journey to The Last Jedi. Again, if you've listened to our podcast, we've had an unfortunate incident with Chad being at the Vegas incidents, the Vegas shooting. So there was a lot to do there with him, and we kind of had gotten our schedules not on the same page in October. So, but we're able to get to the Empire commentary that is out there now on our YouTube channel. I've got to post it on the website still, but by the time you hear this, it's on there. Yeah, great commentary for that. Got put out the trailer also for Empire that's out there. Finishing up Return of the Jedi. We will do that commentary. That will be out in November as well. And then right after that, 1st of December, you'll get our Force Awakens commentary with Cody Geiler. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Definitely, because we haven't done a commentary for that. So lots to do leading up to The Last Jedi, which is just 34 days away. Incredible. All right, Case, what else you got?
Well, one little piece of news, which is Star Wars related, is that Disney's looking to buy out Fox. Maybe?
Yes.
That's what's the rumor.
That's the
Or is
rumor.
that official yet?
Well, it was last I read, which was yesterday, I think. There were actually talks earlier in the year about it, and they kind of stalled. But then they're talking about there's a little bit more rekindle about it because of the streaming service. But I think where I read that they stalled is that Fox wanted to sell everything to Disney, but Disney said, we don't really want everything. We just want a couple things.
Yeah, like Star Wars and New Hope.
We want the distribution rights to A New Hope, and we want some of the Marvel Fox properties. But there's so much more properties that I don't think they want.
Yeah.
So basically like full rights to X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil. Not Daredevil, they already have Daredevil. Deadpool, yeah. So, stuff like that. And of course, 20th Century still has the distribution rights for A New Hope. So I don't see it. I see that happening. I see them getting that stuff, but not the whole buyout. But what I read was 20th Century Fox is really trying to get out of the movie business in a sense.
Yeah.
They want to still do TV and all this stuff.
News and
Yeah, but like the three big studios, Disney, Warner Brothers, and Universal. It's like they just own everything, and then you have your second tier, which I think is like Sony, 20th Century, and something else, Paramount. So you have those that are kind of second tier, and those are the ones that actually are thinking about selling their assets, which in the end, what basically the article is saying is that eventually there might just be three studios that are just doing everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, Disney's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All right. Well, that will do it for us. Again, go to InsideTheForce.com to check out those trailers and commentaries that we're talking about. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos coming from us. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Inside the Force. We will be back every week coming up. It's 34 days, which is 5 weeks from today, that we will be sitting down watching The Last Jedi at our 6 o'clock fan event.
Oh, yes.
So the first showing, early showing, 6 o'clock. Straight from work. Right there.
Beeline.
All right, so we appreciate it. He's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. I'm DCunningham21 on Twitter. Of course, InsideTheForce.com. Go there. Subscribe to iTunes, Twitter, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, or just go to the website. The episodes are all right there. Guys, exciting times. Exciting times. He's Case Cooley.
Darkness rises and light to meet it.
Wow, I didn't know where you're going at first. So that's from the new one, right?
Yeah, and it's weird because his voice is so different in that line, Snoke, in that trailer.
Andy Serkis, right?
Yeah, it's Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Like he does a normal Andy Serkis voice almost, and then goes into a Snoke voice. It's like darkness.
I gotta watch it again. Right, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But there you go.
Good. All right, thanks everybody. Take care. We will be back here next week. Go watch Rebels. on Monday, and we'll talk more about it next week. He's Casey.
Bye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooley. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force within all of us.